Greetings in the name of the Most High Rastafari. This is the girl Jen, Sister Johnny, Auntie Jen, and if you want to get formalism, Miss Jennifer Frederick, another edition of We Talk the Ting. People, today is Tuesday, another week has started. This is the end of the month. By weekend, we into August. People, time and tide waits on no one. And some, no matter what kind of step out at us. Blue. Yes, people. So I'm here. Let me start this thing right. As I was saying, time and tide waits on no one, but I just wait on my peeps on them because I know people has be coming on and they like certain segments. So here what? Let me put all the formalities all the way first. So let me start with the anthem. And again, always thank you all so much for coming to stay, tuning in, and locked on. We won't always agree, but you know it's our love. I know everybody going to agree with me neither. I just get worried. Everybody agree. Hell, it must have some people who don't, and that's okay. So we start with the anthem. You must have the pledge.
I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I will honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, and my elders, and those in authority. I will be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. I will strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country.
And we must pay respect to the first peoples as we do our ancestors. Yeah, and we close to celebrating African Emancipation Day this weekend. And as usual, you know, I always have, whether in and out of season, I always bring you something historical, something about our ancestors, just something in general that I think were interesting that people should know of. So today is no different. So listen to this.
In the 1700s, Haiti was the most profitable colony on earth. France owned it, and the enslaved people there produced 40% of all of Europe's sugar. They were worked to death, and then they rose up. In 1791, the enslaved people of Haiti organized. They armed themselves, they set the plantations on fire, and they started a revolution that the world had never seen before, and has never seen since. France sent its army, they defeated it. Spain sent its army, they defeated it. Britain sent its army, 60,000 soldiers, they defeated it. Then Napoleon sent his brother-in-law with 50,000 soldiers, the largest naval expedition France had ever assembled, specifically to crush the revolution and restore slavery. They defeated that too. On the 1st of January 1804, Haiti declared independence, the first black republic in history, the first country in the Western Hemisphere to permanently abolish slavery. They had won. And then something nobody teaches happened. Napoleon had planned a French empire in America. Haiti was supposed to be its base. When Haiti defeated him, he abandoned the entire plan. He sold Louisiana to the United States almost immediately. The Louisiana Purchase, the deal that doubled the size of America, happened because Haiti won their revolution. America owes half its territory to enslaved black people who defeated Napoleon. America's response: they refused to recognize Haiti as a nation for 58 years. Then France arrived with a demand. Haiti owed them money for the plantations destroyed, for the property lost, for the enslaved people who were now free. France counted the people as property and charged Haiti for freeing them. 150 million francs. Pay us for your own freedom, or we will destroy you. Haiti paid. They were still paying France for their own freedom in 1947. 143 years. Haiti today is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. The country that won the only successful slave revolt in human history. That defeated 4 armies. That doubled the size of America. That built the first black republic on earth. Was charged for its own freedom and never recovered. They won, and the world made sure they paid for it. Follow at Unbroken Legacy.
When they will rather song Hate Will Be Sorry. Let me continue. So somebody sent this to me, or I found it. One out of the two, somebody sent it to me. I thank the person. Can't remember who right now. If I found it, I was looking for something else. And it intrigued me. So you'll listen to this.
Mighty Sparrow why he was bringing Calypso over now, when the West Indian reggae rhythm is already so popular here.
Well, Calypso was here before the reggae, you know. And I always know, never throw out the old for the new. Even though I think that the reggae is sort of like the Calypso in a way. It is unique, you know, it has its own merit. It can stand on its own. And unlike the Calypso has been fighting for quite some time. And I think it's about time we give it a shot in the arm.
So you think Calypso will take over now?
No, I never said that. I believe it can continue to stand on its own.
Lord Kitchener is famous for his often very risque Calypso lyrics. Does he make them all up himself, or does he employ a songwriter?
Any good Calypso artist composes his own song. You do have the phony types that pretend to be good. But we're not speaking of them now. We're speaking about the true artists, such as myself and Sparrow.
Are you born with this gift or what?
Well, I suppose you must be born with that gift.
Yeah. Well, if you're born with it, could I ask you to make up a little Calypso for us and for the program nationwide?
Oh, I see, nationwide.
Do you think you could?
Oh, I mean, that's, as I said before, if you're an artist, if you're a true artist, you must be able to do these things easily.
Yes. I'm waiting.
I must give you a guide about a present, the nationwide. Yes, I must give you this guide about a program you call the nationwide. When you tune in, you know you wouldn't be all on your own because you would be meeting commentator Joan. So ladies and gents, please don't go and hide. Always tune in to the nationwide.
Well, after that warm-up, it didn't take long for the band to set up and for the crowds to gather. And before we knew it, we were all jumping up in the middle of Carnaby Street. For a little while anyway, until we were all moved along.
Well, let's hear with us party anyway. There's the late Lord Kitchener and of course our own mighty Sparrow, who is still with us today. I understand that Lord Nelson would have celebrated his 95th birthday sometime this week. So I'm going to play you something from him. Somebody who I really, really love, all I know them just a short time, I say call her Auntie, singing Francine. She told me once that Lord Nelson, he was in the army, the American army, and he got injured. And he has a steel plate in his head. And I took what she said to be the truth. And so I say that. So yes, he's a war veteran, understand, from the US Army, Tobigonian. And he has endured. Everybody know Lord Nelson for his bodysuits. My mother used to love to see him in his bodysuit with the whole V straight down, so and a gold chain drop down. So, and I used to see, anyway, let me just say, yes, he was on. Yeah, he was always controversial. I like his calypso. I really like Audrey and Norman when they get in some fight in a fed. Then he had Foreigner, they call me Foreigner. He always one family, Disco Daddy. So much music he has given us over the years. And I want to wish Lord Nelson from Bounce Up Central and Louis Ting Unfiltered friends and family. Happy, 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 happy and strong. We ride there with you for the 100, right? So let me just play you something when he got his honorary doctorate.
And one of our great storytellers, I present Lord Robert Nelson, and ask that by the authority vested in you by the Council and Senate of the University of the West Indies, you confer on him the degree of Doctor of Literatures, honoris causa.
By the authority vested in me by the Senate and Council of the University of the West Indies, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa of this university. Congratulations. Dr. Nelson will now render us a performance of two pieces of his, Me Lover and All a We is One Family. From me to you, well, let me tell you. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Sing for me, sing for me. Move yourself. Oh, Lord. Let's have a good time. Tell me. Let's have a good time. Oh, me. Let's have a good time. Me lover. I had to mention in my confession to you, me lover, and must discuss what we should and shouldn't do.
messing up your mind. I tell you no.
You get up and shake yourself.
Let's have a good time.
Hold me. Oh, I love you.
Let's have a good time.
Darling, me, love me, baby.
Let's have a good time.
Hold me.
Me lover. I used to worry about you having a second hand. Me lover. As if to help me fulfill my duty as a man.
Me lover.
You know it's tripping.
We really tripping for true. Lover.
Me lover.
Yes. How you like that?
It's so amusing to hear abusing and accusing. It's so confusing. I know they're messing up your mind. I know they're messing up your mind. Me lover. Let's have a good time.
Darling, me lover, me baby.
Let's have a good time. Let's have a good time. Me darling, no. Let's have a good time.
Darling, me lover, me baby.
Let's have a good time. Me lover, let's have a good time. Let's have a good time.
Yeah, my peace right in celebration of Lord Nelson on his 95th anniversary. Well, he was 95th, right? He wasn't 95 then, but he was much less than that. He probably was about 90 something, 92 around there. When he opened up the thing, I said, good Lord, please, I hope Lord Nelson did not go there in that bodysuit. But you know how to do his thing, right? So again, happy and strong to Lord Nelson. We were there for the 100. Yes, so we continue. It continues. Right now, TNT is being represented by the youngsters out in the Pan American Games and another games, 2 international games that they have now. And I got some highlights from one of them. Can't remember which one. So I hope you enjoy it.
Trinidad y Tobago, cuna de grandes campeones y una de las delegaciones más emblemáticas del deporte caribeño.
Trinidad and Tobago, home to great champions and one of the Caribbean's most iconic sporting delegations.
Trinidad y Tobago ha convertido la velocidad en una de sus grandes señas de identidad dentro de estos Juegos. Compiten desde 1946 durante la 5ª edición celebrada en la ciudad.
Right, so just some side there from that. And I'm going to show you, we have some gymnasts. I haven't been keeping up in the gymnast world, so I was nowhere. So I saw we have some young gymnasts who are also out there.
Hi, we're from Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm Delia Burke, 16.
I'm Shane Cumbermack, 18 years old, and we're going to be exchanging pins.
Hi, what's your name, age, country, and one thing people don't know about you?
Hi, my name is Erin. I'm 21. I'm from Barbados. And one thing people don't know about me is I like fried egg, but not scrambled egg and not boiled egg. And I don't like omelets, but I like fried egg.
Thank you. You going first, or you want me to go?
Let me just be like, here's your bike.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, so what's your name, age, country, and something that people don't know about you?
My name's Alana Walker. I'm 19. I compete for Jamaica, and something people don't know about me is I like to bake macarons.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, and did you show your pin?
Yeah, this way.
Hi, I'm Shushu. I'm 16 and I'm from Namibia, and I have a huge obsession with Michael Jackson.
You want to hit a...
Yo. My name is Justin Spencer. I do gymnastics, and I'm 18. And I can solve a Rubik's Cube in 24 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was two of our gymnasts there talking to other gymnasts. So one of them in particular, I'm going to show you, Shane Cumbermack, I think is his name. So let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Shane Cumbermack. I'm 18 years old, and I'm representing Trinidad and Tobago.
Hi there, my name is Drew Molling. I am Shane's coach.
I competed in the men's artistic gymnastics subdivision 1 this morning and did all 6 events all around, and I would say I did pretty well. I say to walk out of here looking at what you did very well, and don't dwell on the past. So
yeah, I think I just want to say first and foremost, I'm very proud of Shane and his performance today. He represented the country of TTO in a very high standard, so I'm proud of him for his performance. Looking back on all of his competition today, we had some mistakes that were a little bit uncharacteristic, but I think overall it was a great learning opportunity for him and good experience that he will take with him and back for the country. I think first and foremost, it's just a great experience to be here and represent not just the country of Trinidad and Tobago, but himself and his family and everyone back home. So overall, we're taking a lot away from the competition, and fingers crossed that we'll be back for the finals on Sunday.
Yeah.
Right, so let me see him in action here, if you could see it properly. Yes, he is Trinidad, probably one of his parents, or he grew up in America, or whatever, but he's representing TTO on here. Listen, he looking good, and I hope he continues in that strength as his coach and bring the medal home first. I am also giving congratulations to the West Indies cricket team. They played the first test match on Brian Lara, up in Brian Lara Stadium in Tutura, Brian Lara Stadium. The fields there, or the grounds there, have been upgraded, so now they're playing test cricket, and the first test cricket match to be played on Brian Lara. West Indies win against Pakistan. So all the haters and them was talking and reading and all kind of thing, whatever. Come la man. We could do it, right? So congratulations to the West Indies team on their victory, beating Pakistan in our first test match being played on the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. The grounds up there. Right. So let me continue. People, this is news coming out of Guyana, and you all know that the boat would have sunk. So it's now a recovery of bodies. It's very traumatic. One of my peeps who does always be on my show, she's Guyanese and has family there, but she said, she sent it to me and I told her, I said, listen, I hope I'm able to keep back details because it was very depressing and sad. And anyway, it's news and I must be professional. So this is some news coming out of Guyana.
Honorable Attorney General,
Speaker of the National Assembly, Clerk of the National Assembly, Honorable members of the National Assembly, members of the media, fellow Guyanese. Are you hearing me, sir?
Right, that was the Guyanese Parliament, and that gentleman, speaker, was a minister. I think he's a minister in charge of transport and something, so they were chanting for him to go based on what would have transpired with that boat. Thanks, Sarah. Sarah tell me it's Taruba, and she put it in a capital letter, so I can miss it. Thank you so much. Up in Taruba, Brian Lara Stadium Academy. So again, some more news coming out of Guyana.
Can you move from here? Move from here, man.
This is a public office, sir. Do not yell at me, sir. Do not yell at me, sir. Do not yell at me, sir. Do not touch me either. Do not yell at me. I am a private citizen. No one is influencing anyone. They came to the leader of the opposition, sir. Your negligence made all of their relatives die. It is your negligence, sir. Sir, do not try to argue with me, sir, respectfully. You are. Look at your face. Look at your eyebrows. Look at your finger. You're pointing at me. Look at your body language and your tone, sir. Why are you yelling at me, sir? Why are you yelling at me, sir? You are. You are raising your voice. That is yelling, sir. No, sir. This is freedom. Freedom of speech. Are we under a dictatorship? Yes, we are under a dictatorship for you to behave like this. Are you? You buried their relatives with an excavator, sir? When? Where? When? While the sitting minister stood and watched that excavator dump that mud on their bodies? After your boat, your vessel, your state, oh, get from here. Are you guys hearing this? The world is hearing this, sir. The world is hearing you, a man, yelling at a woman. You, a man, yelling at a young lady. You, a man, yelling at a young lady. Yes, I'm glad. The world heard. The world heard, everybody.
So, Lord have mercy. And then listen to this.
If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100
I think it's over 100 persons that have died, children, whole families. And you heard the lady talking to the man there, I think he was the prime minister, if I'm not mistaken. Like they were just dumping bodies in like a hole and just excavator, just covering them with dirt. To the people of Ghana who lost their loved ones and just the people in general Ghana, our condolences goes out to your families, surviving families. We talk the thing unfiltered and bounce etc. Just give me a minute, Oda. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
See me,
So long you not see me, when you see me, I will take it away. So long you not see me, when you see me, I will take it away.
So long you not see me. Woman said they want feel me. Promoter said they need me. To mash up the place, to rip up the place. So come music just feel me. And the power reveal me. Some woman claim that they dream me. I swear.
So long you not see me, when you see me, I will take it away. So long you not see me, when you see me, I will take it away.
I'm back. This is coming out of Tobago.
Plans are underway to construct the long-talked-about museum in honor of former Prime Minister A.N.R. Robinson. Speaking to the media on Thursday, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine praised Mr. Robinson as the country observed the 33rd anniversary of the 1990 attempted coup.
So we appreciate, even in the memory of Mr. A.N.R. Robinson, what he did in standing up for our democracy. Many people would have caved, many people would have given away the country to save their lives. And he, in that moment, chose country over self, country over life. And for me, that is the hallmark, that's the pinnacle of service to country and seeing the country being greater than self.
While former hostage Wendell Eversley called for a museum in honor of Mr. Robinson, Chief Secretary Augustine informed it has been in the pipeline for some time by the former Tobago House of Assembly administration.
Lands were designated at Castara to build a museum library in his honor. Nothing has happened since. At my last check, I understand the THA placed the land in the hands of some private individuals who were mobilizing to do this work, and nothing has happened. And so we are in the process of taking it back so that we will have to do it ourselves.
The THA held a wreath-laying ceremony at James Park, Scarborough at 5:55 p.m. on Thursday.
I'm happy to hear they honoring A.N.R. Robinson in that way. I wonder what Farley's saying about the fact that Trinidad and Tobago took the vote and voted with a couple of countries to end the ICC, I think the International Criminal Court. And we know that, yes, ICC. We know that A.N.R. Robinson was one who would have advocated for there to be such a court. So seeing that he big enough A.N.R. Robinson with a museum for the works that he would have done and all that, I hope that he has a voice and speak out against what happened Trinidad and Tobago voting against the having an ICC. So this is what an international expert had to say. This was in the Guardian today. It says, an international relations expert has warned that Trinidad and Tobago's decision to vote against extending the tenure of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights could have consequences to the country relationships with some international partners, including their willingness to share sensitive intelligence. TNT stood alone in the Caribbean in voting against extending the mandate of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, until 2030. Joining countries including the United States, Russia, and North Korea, Turks was nevertheless reappointed with the support of 144 countries, while 10 opposed his renewed mandate and 13 abstained. Speaking with Guardian Media by telephone yesterday, international relations expert Dr. Michael Kawansky noted that several countries which voted similarly to Trinidad and Tobago are also participants in the Shield of America's initiative. Argentina voted against the extension, while Bolivia and Salvador did not cast a vote. Four other participants, the Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Guyana, and Paraguay, abstained, while Chile, Costa Rica, Honduras, and Panama voted in favor. Pawinski said the outcome suggests Trinidad and Tobago is increasingly aligning its foreign policy with that of the US. However, he cautioned that the move could undermine confidence among some international partners. It is sending a signal to everyone else around, including the Caribbean countries, that any foreign policy towards Trinidad has to be approached cautiously, as anything might lead or it might feed the United States. In terms of intelligence sharing, for example, he said, Pawinski also questioned how the vote aligned with Trinidad and Tobago long-standing support for reparations of the transatlantic slave trade, to argue that voting against extending Turk's mandate appears inconsistent with the country's advocacy for post-colonial justice. He further suggested that the vote could offer insight into how TNT may approach future matters involving the International Criminal Court, ICC. I'm aware that Trinidad has refrained from making public statements, but it is potentially indicating that perhaps future pressures might mean that decisions will be made by Trinidad in relation to the ICC. Former Foreign Affairs Minister Winston Dukran also weighed in on speculation surrounding TNT's relationship with the ICC amid the government's continued silence. Speaking to reporters outside the Red House during the wreath-laying ceremony marking the anniversary of the 1990 attempted coup yesterday, Dukran warned against any move to withdraw from the court, noting that Trinidad and Tobago played a leading role in its establishment. Recalling the efforts of former Prime Minister Ian Robinson to champion the creation of the ICC, Dukran argued that withdrawing from the institution would undermine the country's own commitment to justice. Meanwhile, international relations expert and former director of the Institute of International Relations at the University of the West Indies, Dr. Anthony Gonzalez, agreed with Pawinski that the vote reflects a closer alignment with the US. However, he argued that the decision is driven by strategic interests, particularly in intelligence sharing and access to technology. They are trying to endear themselves more to the United States and to Israel, and they are promoting stronger relations to Israel because they want to get certain things from Israel and certain things from the United States. For instance, what we are talking about, as you read all that went on there, excuse me, with the hadiths there, what do you think is behind all of that? It's the United States and Israel and all the sophisticated equipment for monitoring people and so forth and listening to them. Unlike Pawinski, Gonzalez does not believe the vote will damage TNT's standing at the United Nations or affect its broader diplomatic relationship. Despite repeated phone calls and WhatsApp messages, Foreign and Caribbean Affairs Minister Sean Sobers did not respond to Guardian media requests for comments up to press time. I'm trying to understand this international relation expert, Dr. Anthony Gonzalez. So is it he has no problem with calls being intercepted? And if they are being intercepted, what is the process? Or is he comfortable with calls being intercepted and no court give any warrant to do it, or it's just anybody could do it? He's very he seems like, though, in my opinion, he's very comfortable with how everything is, and he's so enamored, in my opinion, just the way how we write here about our ties to getting greater ties to Israel and the US. Apparently he don't see any problem because we could get from this one, get from that one. I don't know. He's sending the wrong message that I'm picking up here. This is my opinion on that. So I would like to hear what Farley Chavez Augustine has to say about that, but I guess it will be crickets. Let me continue. So listen to Dr. Rowley here.
Let me tell you something, right? Since you're asking the question, all I will say to that, character matters. Character matters. I would tell you, you may not know, I was very friendly with Asio Pandey. I am very friendly with Omar Pandey. I'm very friendly with Nkela Pandey. I'm very friendly with Anthony Smart, Selby Wills, because they are first and foremost fellow citizens of mine. They're professional people, and we share the same room. We argue over the same bill, so I respect them. But if your conduct is such that I don't require to respect you, I just wouldn't disrespect myself. That opposition leader, facing a difficult election with me as opposition leader, you know what she did? She organized for members of her cabinet and the Speaker of the House to come to the Parliament and put on the Hansard that my father is a rapist and I'm a rapist. That's on the Hansard. Character matters. I want you to think about that. So while there were these sublime moments in South Africa, there were horrible nadirs here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Then what
and
is...
if it is that is what you have to do to win political office, then I wish that I would never have been there. But you asked me about my legacy. I have led my party to many election victories. I have supported election victories with other leaders in my party. I've had many nights where the PNM was defeated. And at the end of it all, I feel as though I have contributed and my organization was worthy of the public support.
I want you to remember that conversation as I continue on this live, because he spoke about what they did to him. And I've always said that is something would cut any logical human being who has feeling and compassion to the core to hear in the parliament, where you can even go and get a lawyer to sue them or anything because they're saying it under the cover of the privilege of the parliament, one of our highest places in Trinidad and Tobago. And it's on the Hansard for generations to come to read and interpret that Dr. Rowley, who was the opposition leader at the time, that one of the UNC ministers, and they always use people who look like us to do these things. They will never use somebody who look like them, and I'm saying us and them for in context, right? They will never look to use somebody who looks like them to do that type of, because then it would look too obvious. But when an African person do it who looks like us, is just taken as, well, well, we go say that kind of thing, right? Whereas if it was a person of Indian descent would have said it from the UNC, it would have gotten more outrage. So on the Hansard, it is put there that Dr. Rowley father raped his mother, and he's a child born of rape, and he has grown to be angry because he's a child of rape, and he himself raped a little girl, right? All that proved to be a lie. But it didn't stop them from continuing putting up that Dr. Rowley's a rapist and a pedophile. It didn't stop Dr. Munilal from putting up, it is alleged, a sign in his constituency saying, keep your train away from Rowley. It didn't stop them from continuing the rape talk and the anger talk, and a man who does rape woman and interfere with you. That is the talk that continued. even to this day, and pedophile all over Facebook, all over social media. And that came from that lie that was told in the parliament against Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. And he had no recourse because it was not said outside the parliament. Why didn't they stand up outside the parliament? In my opinion, they did that deliberately. Effect of what happened after. So from day one, they painted Dr. Rowley as the black, ugly, rapist, angry African man. And then they use conveniently, Dr. Rowley said, Mr. Manning said when he can't get you want, he just get like a raging bull and that kind of thing, and they held on to that. And the lies about the teacup incident, which is a lie, because persons who were there said that never happened. So they put all in one, and Dr. Rowley became the poster child, rapist, pedophile, black, angry, ugly, arrogant, everything negative. Remember that as we go along. I want us to look at this gentleman complaining about garbage.
Morning, because it is not good. From enterprise shop owners, we are currently here in dire stress, and no, this is not a dump. This is the side of the road. I wish I could only describe the scent for you. Enterprise shop owners need change.
Even if you weren't able to hear him, you see, the garbage on the side of the road. And where I live, I'm starting to see that too. The garbage truck is not coming as it used to come before. I have never seen rats down where we just put garbage and stuff. I saw one big as a damn chicken. What you call it in Manico or something, yeah. So this place is just going to a general. Well, the Prime Minister did say this is a lawless dump. And the President of America did say the Caribbean is a shithole or something like that effect. So I guess whatever. So let me continue. MTS. I saw somebody down at the PNM when standing in defense of Badisee House, and the person was telling me about situation with MTS workers. And because I'm in labor, you know, that's my love, I was interested in it. So this is for the retirees of MTS who have not gotten their retirement settlement to this day. So look at the struggles that they have.
And retirement payments, some for as long as 5 years. Today, frustrated retirees spoke out about the financial hardship and emotional stress caused by the delays, while calling on authorities to step in and protect future pensioners. Charlotte Kisto has more in this report.
We want me money right now. We want me money right now. We want me money right now. God, I will know. God, I will know. God, I will know.
For many retired workers of MTS, this was supposed to be a time of peace and financial security. Instead, several retirees say they are facing uncertainty as they wait on outstanding payments they believe are long overdue.
We have a lot of retirees who are suffering. I am here only because of sufferation to my colleagues. They are dying. There's one worker who came to me while I was working and said, "Oh God, Miss Wolf, I wouldn't see my money. I have to take operation." And in 2 weeks' time, he was unalive.
Retirees say the delays have affected their ability to cover everyday expenses, including groceries, medication, and household bills. They also claim communication from the company has been limited, leaving many frustrated and searching for answers.
The last time we supposed to meet with them was the 17th of April. And that came and cancelled. We had people from Tobago who was here, and because of that, I think it wasn't the last time. You know, we decided after that was just a thanks.
Another MTS retiree says She has been waiting 2 years to receive her gratuity payment.
We signed an agreement 30 days after retirement. We're supposed to get our gratuity. This month is 2 years I am home, right? And nothing. Every time you come, no money. I go so far, I tell them, I say, time to change that music. It's sticking.
One retiree also reflected on the risk he faced during his years of service with MTS.
I worked 22 years plus over close to 30 years with firearm. All the dangerous places I was, URP, go right back to Silas, URP. You want to risk my life, you only have the man, the garden people who can shoot in hospital.
Another retiree is now calling for legislative action to protect future workers from facing similar hardships.
What I'm suggesting to the people in power, maybe the parliament or the senate, if they could get some kind of legislation done to prevent future retirees from going through this struggle. So implement some kind of law or something, so people, when they retire, they could get their money.
TV6 attempted to contact MTS management for comment, but the company declined to speak with the media. Charlotte Kisto, TV6 News. Here's Rochelle with tonight's.
Watch them here also. You know what it is, you work for years in a company, and whatever contract you sign, the contract and state when you will get your gratuity, so you retire at 60, and 64, 65, 62, you still fighting to get your pension. You don't work already, so you work in the workplace. You get your salary and you work, and at the end of the time, based on whatever pension and gratuity, whatever you're entitled to that, and then you have to work now. Now you're older, your foot, your hand knee problem, you have hand problem, all kind of, you have to work now to match to get your own money. You think that's fair? And the people who should be getting involved in this, the ministers of labor, I think Elda and Ernesto and them, because them had plenty more when they was in union. For the members, which was their right to do. But now they have one suit, and they have driver, and they have Prado. And people holding the bag and saying, minister this and minister that. They don't care about them people out there again. Only listen to Mr. Elder, Minister Elder. When he was the General Secretary or the President of Communication Workers, listen to his posture then. He didn't care about 500 workers. He was a part of them that was being retrenched. He was passionate. Listen to him.
stop us. They're not going to stop us. To hell with them. They could do me what they want to do me. That is not going to stop me. In fact, it has strengthened me in my resolve to represent not just TSC workers, but for the working class of Trinidad and Tobago. That's what they have done.
And emboldened the Secretary General of the Communication Workers Union, Clyde Elder, as the union made a showing outside TSTT's head office on Friday morning. Mr. Elder, who is among the 503 workers to get the axe from TSTT, accused the company of being underhanded in its handling of the retrenchment. He said that TSTT continuously dispelled the notion that termination was in the cards before making the announcement on Thursday. But the union said that the announcement does not point to any definitive action just yet.
So 503 workers are on notice saying that at the end of this year, you could be retrenched. That's notice. In the notice period, anything can happen. This is notice. So they can still be retooled, retrained, and redeployed in the notice period. We are in notice period.
The company, who this week pointed to its financial situation as the reason for the termination, is currently owed $400 million by government. The Secretary General is wondering why the workers are the ones being made to suffer for this debt owed.
So is TSCT and the government saying that because the government owes us money, we are being retrenched? So if they pay us, we go stay in the company? Is that the logic? Well, then if that's the logic, we want the government to pay us right now. Yes, pay us right now.
As it pertains to the CWU's next plan of action, Mr. Elder said that they're in communication with their lawyers. He confirmed that there's a strong possibility the matter will go before the industrial court. Janine Brown, TTT News.
Yeah? He next thing and sort of it, anything. He had mouth under the PNM. Well, he was the right to do because he was the general president, general or general secretary, CW, fighting for workers, fighting for it. That was his job to do. He fight. And he was belligerent in the way he'd say and fire and all. And then he became a minister, and the government fired 10,500 CPEP workers one time. No retrenchment, no notice, nothing. Here we say.
But at this point in time, unfortunately, because of what we had, you have become no collateral damage, but we are going to see about them, we're going to take care of them, and that's as we can just say to them, have a little stream of supply.
Minister, thank you very much for your response.
Mr. Zelda.
Minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities, which of course is aligned to CPEP. CPEP falls under the Ministry of Public Utilities.
Right? So he in public utilities and UNESCO in labor. It don't matter to me, there was union. Many here we say. When he was TSTT in CWU union, as the head of the union, he wanted the money. Retrenchment, they can't retrench them, so they want them thing. And then when he did, and the working class, he fighting for all the working class. And he became a minister. And when they sent home 10,500 people workers, he said there's collateral damage. Look at the people, Minister UNESCO, and Elder. Look at the faces of the people. All they're not even trying to assist to get MTS, to get these people to get a pension. Watch their faces as human beings. But no, all this minister knows. So that matter, that is the working class, the same bourgeoisie class that all they used to scorn upon, and say the bourgeoisie class, all they're interested in is taken from the working class, and they're sending the children to study. They're eating the best, they're driving the best car, they have the best houses. All they scorn them, all they on them, and all they said are not helping the working class getting crumbs. Oh God, and we march behind all the yes. And now all they become the same bourgeoisie, and we still in the same situation getting crumbs. That all they was saying we getting before. What has changed? All the situation, not ours. But look at the faces, all they denying MTS and the trade union leaders who know is minister this and minister that. Look at the faces of the people. Yeah? I understand out of them who marching 10 done die already. While marching for the money, their money or their thief, they work hard, they done there already, and the trend can't even get the money. Those are the faces, Minister Clyde Elder. Those are the faces of the people, Minister Ernesto. You remember all those in the union, all those union men, and all they have we marching? Yeah? Solidarity forever! Solidarity forever! And labor must live on! I remember them days? Well, there's minister now, a little business. The next one is one called Felicia Thomas. Well, let me tell all the public officers something. If all is still hoping for the best, if all is still hoping for the best, that something might happen. Let me tell you, a lot of women and men sit in an abusive relationship, but they'll be saying the same thing. They ain't moving. They're frightened because they're hoping tomorrow will be better. The man will change, the woman will change. They're hoping for the best. People sitting on a situation in the workplaces, they ain't going nowhere in the workplace. The boss drumming them, the boss abusing them, victimizing them, and they're not using the processes to treat with that. They're saying they're hoping for the best because they don't want to rock no boat. They're hoping for the best. And while they're hoping for the best, so they continue to go through the abuse, and the abuser continue to be abusing others along with you too, while they're hoping for the best. So this little girl that the PSA has as the president, talking out now in the papers. What she's saying here? The Public Service Association President Felicia Thomas said the union is still waiting to meet with the chief personnel officer to discuss his counter proposal on the settlement of public officers' salary negotiation arrest, describing the prolonged delay as unprecedented and claiming it represents the first unsettled settlement in history. Felicia Thomas, stop bullshitting people. All they tell people, you and Leroy Baptiste, when you was the president of PSA, you was the first vice president, vote UNC, they will get 10%. More than the 4% where the PNM government was offering for the 6-year period, 2014-16, 17-19. All they tell people to go get 10%. People say, oh God, yeah, because Rowley take how much percentage in back pay and da-da-da-da-da. All they clean forget the same opposition, get more in back pay than Dr. Rowley. But anyway, or let's take that train up, excuse me. And when she went to the table to negotiate, coming out of that, we get $20,000 as a partial payment at the 10%. 20,000 for certain public officers. Retirees ain't get nothing. And then after we hear that $20,000 was 40 at the 10%. So the next 60% at the 10% is non-cash payment. Nobody tell you to go and sit down with no CPO to have no conversation about non-cash payment. From the time the CPO started talk, you used to get up and walk out and go to your members. You didn't do that. Because you're talking about food card. And then your counter proposal, I understand, is 80% non-cash and 20% cash. When people work for the month, the contract is, give me labor, I get cash rate, money. And if I used to get a raise on the salaries, because the negotiating period are every 3 years, and why we negotiate every 3 years, that is the negotiating period, and how we negotiate is the index price methodology system, where you look at how inflation eats up a worker's salary for the month, for the year, and over 3 years, and then they come with a close enough percentage. So sometimes you hear the union say they want 19% and 20%. Okay, that sounds good, but when they go in front the CPO, because the government always start low, that's why you negotiate. Go up, go down, right? There was no conversation about non-cash. And if I'm getting a raise based on the increase of my salary, what I work for, then it had to be, the arrest had to be in cash. It can't be in non-cash, because again, they didn't give me increase on salary based on non-cash item. They give me increase in salary based on the salary I have in and how that affecting how the inflation eating away at my salary. So in my opinion, it's illegal and it's not in the best interest and good industrial relation practice to go and sit down with the CPO and now decide we will get non-cash payment. Not only that, you didn't talk to no general counsel, and general counsel didn't go back to members, and no members didn't give you the mandate for non-cash payment. So that's show you're putting on. That so long it is settled and unprecedented, you'll let that have to fall on you. Don't blame the government and don't blame the CPO because they use you like an ass. Because you must feel the board what you get and whatever letter you get, that's enough. But again, remember, it are thousands of public officers who depending on you. So don't throw nothing on the government. Me I blame the government, me I blame the CPO, me I blame the Minister of Finance. In fact, the Minister of Finance is the CPO boss. I don't blame them, I blame you. Well, the Robert is pull himself out because he's the Minister of Labour. Now he can't get involved in that. He's a senator, he's part of the government. He can't get in that, so you're on your own. But you're so stupid, you end up on a board. So I can sit down now as the employee, because you're an employer now, you know. And how could you sit down with the employees now to negotiate against yourself? So you put yourself in rent shit and now you're trying to pass it off. Oh, so long it is settled. It's your fault. Public officers should blame Felicia Thomas for where we are. Retirees ain't get the money. The rest of the public servants ain't get the money. And nobody said they want a blasted food card. That was never the agreement. Look, all I said, I want hope for the best. Let me play this. This one is Felicia. This one is for Felicia.
You're lying. Come on, move now. Yeah. You're lying. Lie. I didn't want to hear the other thing. You're lying. That is a lie. What do you guys call that? La. Lie. Like a lion bites you. Everything you only lying. Oh God, you only lying. I talking the truth and I doing things out of my heart. I really trying. This girl only crying. And then you know she playing innocent, coming by me and lying. Hey, lie.
Lie. Hey, lie. All the hope for the best. Yeah. So I'm seeing the big news again is the whole situation with the wiretap, well, that all over the place. What was said in it, and then the release of the Haddies, and then recent, as of yesterday, I think, the release of Mr. Tabitha, if I'm not mistaken. So let's listen to a little of what Derek Ransomouge had to say, and we will get into detail.
Political analyst Derek Ransomouge says the Hadid's detention has exposed a crisis of governance. He expects additional legal challenges from other people detained under preventive detention orders.
The political game that politicians who happen to be senior counsel strive because of their political ego must have a price to pay.
He also warns the use of state frameworks for political purposes could become more common.
We are going to experience 50 shades of austerity and 50 shades of authoritarian leadership, because it's going to be a situation of vindictiveness.
Ransomouge also criticized attorneys who are now parliamentarians.
It's ironic that all the legal counsel who have benefited financially from prisoners and who have entered parliament have not seen it fit to have a humane perspective of where people who are not guilty are living like people who are guilty.
He did not stop there, taking aim at former Attorney General Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj, who is currently challenging the legality of TNT's 2011 state of emergency and the detention of 17 people.
His actions resulted in the removal of Trinidad out of the human rights framework. So there is a level of hypocrisy that exists within the legal framework, not based on principle, but based on beneficial influence.
Meanwhile, he says the Prime Minister must take action to retain trust in her leadership by asking for the resignation of the Attorney General and Minister of Homeland Security.
Whether she has the political skill sets needed after close to 1 year in office, a cabinet reshuffle is indeed a requirement.
Ramsamouch says the controversy also reinforces the need for campaign finance and electoral reform. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
I hear you, Mr. Ramsamouch. And not that you're talking foolishness, you're talking good sense. Bolly doesn't do nothing. So, I don't know. So this was the reunion of Mr. Dominic Hadid with his workers at Blue Waters headquarters.
Man looking real small.
Our son is a boss. Nice to be back. Oh Lord.
Feeling small.
Get two group calls, come. I'm not hugging you. Thank you, everybody. Listen, I miss you all. I miss you all. I miss you all earlier. I miss everybody.
I told them, you told me you were.
They never give me a blue one.
I know.
Come, Mr. Vince. Let's see how this one is talking. Yeah. Come. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Come. Miss everybody. You are good, my friend.
Wow.
You can't buy that kind of love. Whether you're Syrian, you're Indian, you're African, you're Chinese, what you can't buy that kind of love. When you see people as you see employer and a scene happen and you come back and that kind, you can't buy that genuine thing you see in there, boy. You can't buy that. But just again, and that was the head office, I understand, like the administrative, and this is like on the with the workers kind of thing now. You know the rest of the employees then.
I want them in act. I want them in act. He said that.
Everybody here, but I also want to say everybody praying, doing whatever more they were doing outside of work, at home with the family, etc. To be appreciated and thank everyone. Also to commend everybody.
Right? So, today in the Express, After more than a month in prison, 69-year-old Star Sabga is now under house arrest after being released late Monday night when the state failed to secure an extension of a 6-hour stay granted following a High Court ruling ordering her release. Sabga walked out of the prison shortly after 11:30 p.m. after the stay, which expired 11:20 p.m. Not extended by the Court of Appeal despite efforts by the state attorneys to pursue an urgent visual Paul ruling. She was then escorted by police officers to her Regent Park, Westmoreland home, where she was placed under house arrest in accordance with the condition imposed by the court. Earlier on Monday, Justice Paul ruled that Sabga should be released from prison pending the hearing of a constitutional challenge to the Preventative Detention Order, PDO, signed by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander. The court found that Sabga had raised a serious issue to be tried and that the balance of convenience favor granted interim relief. However, the state immediately sought a 6-hour stay of the order, telling the court it needed time to file an urgent appeal. Justice Paul granted the request, delaying Sabga's release, while state attorneys attempted to obtain an extension from the Court of Appeal. Those efforts proved unsuccessful, and when the stay expired at 11:20 p.m., prison officials released Sabga before she was transported home by police officers to begin serving the strict house arrest order. Under the interim order, Sabga must remain confined to her residence under police supervision. She is required to surrender her passport and electronic devices, cannot leave her home except in the event of medical emergency, and is prohibited from communicating with persons outside the residence except for attorneys, medical professionals, or personnel and approved family members. Police officers are also permitted to enter the premises at reasonable time to ensure compliance with the order. Sabga had been detained since June the 25th after Alexander signed a PDO against her. She is challenging the legality and constitutionality of the order, arguing that her detention breached her constitutional right. Her detention followed the leak of a 50-minute audio recording of a June 11 conversation between Sabga and her niece, businesswoman Genevieve Hadid. In the recording, the two women discussed that what they believed was government corruption and made remarks about the country's political leadership. The state has alleged that portions of the conspiracy to assassinate Prime Minister Kamala predecessor and other senior government officials, allegations both women denied. The recording also formed part of the state case against Genevieve Hadid and her husband, businessman Dominic Hadid, who was detained under separate PDOs. Last Thursday, however, Alexander revoked their detention orders after the Court of Appeal upheld an earlier High Court ruling granting the couple's interim constitutional relief. I'm sure you all would have heard the voice taping that is alleged to be Genevieve Hadid and her aunt or Star Sabga, and people will have their different thoughts on that. Senior attorney Farid Ali yesterday urged the government to clear the air over the authenticity of the audio recording involving Genevieve Hadid and her aunt Star Sabga, which has now become the center of an escalating public debate on social media. I also think I heard that the Commissioner of Police is launching an investigation on how the tape was leaked. I would have seen a piece written by one Miss Shoma Wilson, and oh gosh, where the thing going? And this is her story. Where the thing is? Okay, let me just try something. I just saw it, and oh Lord, I really like to read it. Let me just get it here. Come on, man. Who think this body is when you're trying to really? Wait a minute. Let me see if I find it somewhere else. La 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 la. There was an accident in Tobago with some truck. I'm happy that nobody was hurt. At least that's what we are hearing. So God is good. Well, you know, I don't know why I'm not getting this thing open. Maybe I could always read it, you know, another time. But Ms. Wilson was right now about her experiences with the Hadids. Oh, which one of the Hadids, boy? Oh Lord. And it's a very touching piece that she would have written that gives you another side of the humanistic side. Not that we didn't know, but another side of it and how they care about their people and people who work for them or with them. So I'm sorry I can't get it open. I don't know why. So let me continue. I just want to briefly touch on, well, we know yesterday was the anniversary of the attempted coup, Trinidad and Tobago 1990, and this is, I saw somebody wrote this, they said, July 27, 1990, memories of that dreadful day, every anniversary of this day, I quake. My husband, Benedict, worked at TTT at the time. We both left the station about 5 minutes before those criminals/terrorists stormed the building. Thanks to my daughter, Bridget. Excuse me. She was a year old and we had to pick her up from the nursery, Kidsville, before 6 p.m. The trauma of knowing our friends were being held hostage, the looting of Hilo St. Anne's we live next to, the sound of the gunfire echoing through the night air, scared our lives in the middle of the night. Jumping out of bed, getting Bridget and sitting on the floor in the bathroom. On the brighter side, Bridget looked amused because Daddy and Mommy were playing on the ground. Wow, so much to write. And they said, for those who lost their lives, may you rest in eternal peace. And we must always thank Mr. Wendell Eversley, who continues to stand in defense and remembrance of 1990, himself being one of the hostage that was held there. Yeah. So let me continue. So listen to Ramos. He said it always had wiretapping. Listen to this.
I hear your point, you know, but the issue for me really isn't so much the wiretapping, because wiretapping has been going on for a long time now. We are no different. All around the world, via different agencies, wiretapping is a thing. And quite frankly, I much rather the government find out about a bomb before it goes boom, rather than after it goes boom. What is standing out to me, though, is that a news article came out 2 weeks ago that said between 2020 to the present day, there were 314 wiretaps approved by judges. This is indicating to me that for a number of years, our intelligence agency has been operating behind the scenes, getting warrants from judges to wiretap certain phones, and we don't know how much threats they would have prevented in the background. We don't know. We just go about our daily lives just casual. What should be bothering us is the fact that why is it as these people jump into the dance, calls start leaking? When in the history of Trinidad and Tobago has this happened in modern history? When? If you all can't keep things secured within our strategic intelligence body, then what is the purpose? Do you see why I call them the OJT government? They are learning while on the job. Why is it everything they touch always have some controversy behind it? Like, just touch something and improve on it. Just try that tomorrow. Improve on it. No chaos, no controversy, nothing. Just improve on it.
Okay, so I found it. It says my Hadid experience. It said, I left school in 1980 at the age of 16. I was young and very excited to get into the world of work. How much I was going to work for wasn't important to me. I just wanted to go out there to work, serve people, what I love to do best, and to make new friends. At the time of at the time a sprawling new department store, Time Plaza, I think owned Sam/Ojo Hadid, was open on Henry Street, Port of Spain, which spanned all the way to Charlotte Street on the other side, so that it was what you would call a walk-through store. I remember going week after week after week seeking employment, and every time I go, I would unfortunately get the same answer from the manager, a very young, handsome Mr. Mark Hadid. Sorry, no vacancies at this time. I would always leave with more sadness than the last time I was there. But I never give up until eventually one day he probably got tired of me coming every week, and he said, "You are hired and be here tomorrow for 8 a.m." And she said, "Yeah." The rest is history. I work very diligently. I love my job, and I turned out to be one of the best sellers in my department, Jen's department. Our work relationship also turned out fantastic. I started sharing my ideas with him for improvement of the department along with other work-related matters. My mom also met Mark, and immediately a mother and son relationship formed. She started cooking lunches and occasionally dropped off for him. His favorite was her Chinese cooking straight out of her kitchen in Beetham Gardens. I could see her now with her brand new picnic basket that she bought specifically for his lunch. Nobody dare interfere with it. A laughy face, continue emoji. Continue to rest in eternal peace, mommy. And she have praying hands and a start here. Then I got pregnant in 1984 with my first son, and I worked up to 8 months and then proceeded on maternity leave. When my son was born, I asked Mr. Hadid to be my son's godfather, and he accepted. So I told him the arrangement would be a church ceremony and then a luncheon at our Beetham home garden. I was probably expecting him to attend only the christening ceremony at the church for obvious reasons, of course. However, he put all stigmatizations about my community aside and replaced it with his love and appreciation for me and our friendship. And so he joined our family for lunch at our humble home in Beetham Gardens, driving through with his brand new red sports car, much to the amazement of the villagers. A first time for them, I'm sure. And yes, my mom cooked his favorite. I never went back to work after my first son because by the next year I was having my second son. Things were rough. However, we stayed in contact, and he ended up with an unofficial godchild, my second son. He ensured every August vacation that he provided both of them with their back to school books and uniforms. Somehow over the years we lost contact along the way. When my son, his godson, passed away last year, crying emoji, he contacted me and offered his condolences and said that he was unable to attend the funeral because at the time he was out of the country. So Mark Hadid, this is your old Makome here, probably your first one. Until we bounce again, I love and appreciate you for the love and support that you give to me and my family. She have some emojis, praying hands, love hearts. While I'm at it, let me send my love to my whole Auntie Star. And she have a laughing emoji and says, "Stay strong." Yeah, so I thought it was important that we hear another side of the situation. So let me continue. So people, Dr. Rowley is calling for the end of the SOE. Yeah, and this is what he would have said. Prime Minister slams former PM comments. Prime Minister Kamala Prasad says that no, this is not it. This is not it. Let me go back again. La lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. So let me see if I could go on Dr. Rowley page and get it. Lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie. See, only lie. All they hope for the best. Hope for the best. Let me see if it's this. Is this here? Gosh, man. Excuse me. Okay, I'm not seeing it, but it is. Dr. Rowley is calling for end of the SOE. Yeah. And also the dismissal of ministers. The stories in the Guardian, I don't know why I'm not getting it open. These things happen sometimes. So let me continue. Also, Stuart Young, also member of Parliament, but it's been not sentence was also would have had something to say on that.
Trinidad and Tobago, we have been cautioning against the use and abuse of rolling states of emergency. At the last extension of the state of emergency, absolutely no justifiable reason was given for its continuation. What we also have seen in a most frightening manner is the weaponization of preventative detention orders against citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. The state's use of PDOs to suppress persons who speak out against the government, to suppress persons who have a different opinion to those of the government. Social media bloggers who are incarcerated via the use of PDOs because of utterances on social media. Not defamatory, but utterances where different opinions to those of the government may be held. What we are witnessing is a complete attempt to suppress democracy in Trinidad and Tobago, a frontal attack on our democratic values, unconstitutional use of rolling states of emergency, complete disregard for how PDOs were intended to be lawfully utilized. Today, not surprisingly, and it could only be after the intervention of independent legal advice, preventative detention orders in the most high profile of cases were revoked against 2 of our citizens. And the Minister of Homeland Security gave a number of reasons for doing so. We have seen and witnessed unprecedented abuse of our Constitution and attempts to suppress our rights of freedom, our rights of being able to associate, our rights of being able to speak our mind, freedom of speech, once you're doing so in a lawful manner. Having regard to what has unfolded, it is clear that these persons in government, the Attorney General and the Minister of Homeland Security, must immediately vacate office. If not, the Honorable Prime Minister should do the right thing and relieve them both of their duties by firing them. The abuse of our Constitution is not something to take lightly. And the end, we call for the immediate end to states of emergency being used in Trinidad and Tobago. May God continue to bless Trinidad and Tobago.
Right, that's MP Stuart Young there also adding his voice to ending that state of emergency. This state of emergency. Let me put this here quick for you to tell all you why I'm saying lie. This was an Antonio Declan Ross page. It says, PSA, after not negotiating in the best interest of the members of the union, the common law husband of the president of PSA gets a board position. Congratulations, I know that. Me didn't say so, eh? Look, the thing they go on Mr. Antonio Declan page. So is it he saying Felicia Thomas, man, on a board? I just asking a question. Lie. I'm not able to wish for the best. Them eating and living the best according to what this man stating. Hey, only our next bacchanal. Our next bacchanal. Some UNC worker get sent home or fire or some bacchanal for some sex thing. Me need mother to read it. I just showing only the official thing there. Yeah? From down in which part? Statement regarding allegation involving an employee of the Caroni East office. The Member of Parliament for Caroni East has become aware of allegations involving one of the employees of the Caroni East office and have been circulated via social media and Facebook. Upon being made aware of these allegations, immediate administrative action was taken. The employee in question has been sent on administrative leave with immediate effect, pending an investigation. The Member of Parliament for Caroni East and the Caroni East office take all allegations of misconduct seriously and remain committed to upholding the highest standard of integrity, professionalism, and accountability. Where such matters arise, appropriate actions is taken to ensure that they are addressed thoroughly, firmly, fairly, and in accordance with the process. As the matter is currently under investigation, it would be inappropriate to comment further at this time. We are committed to ensuring that the process is conducted fairly. We ask for the public's understanding and patience as this process unfolds thoroughly and without prejudice to any party involved. Further updates will be provided, and the MP down there, I think, is Dr. Rishi Sibaran. So me and if it's a touching or pouring or hearing, but I see this on Mr. Randall Mitchell page, former Minister of Culture and Community Development. It said from PDO to pedophiles. The allegation here that the letter responds to is that the office of the Member of Parliament has been harboring a dangerous child sexual predator, a predatory pedophile, who has been employed by the MP for Caroni East. The questions that are now being asked are these. 1. When did these allegations first come to the attention of the MP for Caroni East? 2. What did the MP for Caroni East do in response to these allegations when they were first made? 3. Did the MP for Caroni East only now act because the allegations have gone viral? 4. Can the MP for Caroni East be accused of turning a blind eye to allegations of child sexual abuse, failing to protect a child from a serious risk of harm, and therefore could be negligent in allowing the abuse to continue until Wendell Eversley interview went viral? I had to find the interview. Does Kamala really love children? From deadbeat dad to MP officers that hire and harbor predatory pedophiles? Let's hope this is not so. And also let's hope that the child receives all the protection and counsel and comfort they needed. I remember in the times of the vet who used to play the guitar and could sing or could sing something. Glenn, I would remember touching the breast of the woman on the airplane, the air hostess. You remember it is alleged the woman said that when she go to the office to get help, she had to give him some. All remember that? So I don't know. I don't know if it's a thing. I don't know. But listen to Jack Warner here. It might very well be a thing. I don't know.
ILP leader Jack Warner has vowed to do everything in his power to bring down Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bissessa. Last week, in his latest expose in his Sunshine newspaper, he alluded to questionable relationships involving the Prime Minister. Last Tuesday, mere days before that article was published, Warner claimed he signed an oath before Justice of the Peace Anthony Soulette. CNC3 has seen a copy of that alleged affidavit, and via a text message, Warner confirmed, quote, "Those are the exact words in my affidavit," end quote. In it, he details a conversation with a former assistant to the Prime Minister, Ingrid Ishmael, who, he says, told him that the Prime Minister was a bisexual and preyed on at least 4 women in the last 6 years, one including a former TV journalist. Warner also speaks of the controversial appointment of Rashmi Ramnarine to head the Security Intelligence Agency, the SIA. He says in January of 2011, sometime after Ms. Ramnarine resigned, he discovered that they both shared an intimate relationship. Warner claims the revocation of her appointment was a cabinet directive and said in the document that he was shocked that the Prime Minister was in tears when the decision was taken.
I'm not able. Like Jack Warner say, not me, Papa. And if there were any children or anything involved in that situation or any carnies, I too, like Randall Mitchell, hope that that child, children, adult, whoever it is, get the counseling and care that they need. Oh, Jesus. Let me continue, yes?
I have seen you on social media long enough to know that whenever you show up in the comment section, it's never nothing good or of substance, and today is no different. But let me explain to you and the rest of you all in the comment section why I left out the racist part of that phone call. To me, racism is wrong. I don't understand the concept of hating somebody just because they look differently to you. I will never get behind that. But racism is kind of like cancer in that you cannot fight it partially. You have to fight it in its entirety. Many of you are pseudo-racism fighters. I remember when Philip Alexander, who's a part of the UNC right now, likened Keith Rowley to an ape. You want me to give you the historical context as to why it's bad to liken somebody of African descent to an ape, a gorilla, a monkey, or anything along those lines? You all remember when Kamala Persad-Bissessar called Rowley an Oreo? What do you think that was? That was a racial insult. It was a racial slur. She knew exactly what she was saying, and to this day, you all still call him an Oreo. And in fact, any person of African descent that you all don't like because they disagree with you all call them an Oreo. What do you think that is? That is also racism. 1 month prior to the last election, up to this day, when you go on any of those UNC groups where they share my videos, it's always Rambles, nigga, mother, so and so. Rambles are like bottom African and like bottom nigga, Oreo. Isn't that racism? Step off my page with your pseudo anti-racism nonsense. Step off. Go from here. Go on. In fact, in your case, roll off the page. Teleport off the page, hover off the page, access the speed force from the Flash TV show and just get off my page. I don't care where you do it. Locomote yourself somehow off my page and you are free to return when you are ready, truly ready to tackle racism holistically to rid it from our society. Not when it only affects you temporarily. Let's talk about this sudden influx of rage when it comes to racism. The topic at hand was not racism. Stop moving the goalposts. The topic at hand was some alleged plot to ministers and dog and cat and sheep and goat and that bullshit. That was the point. At the try and drum up support, somebody accidentally leaked the phone call, hoping the public could hear it and be like, them stinking 1% and then but the plan backfired because people realize, oh wait, now people know they are going on themselves. They confused just like us. So now to try and save face, or they'll grab onto the racist comment like, look, she said the word, we are outraged. Well, they're not outraged, let's be saying worse than that. It's the exact same thing that took place when Rowley came in his house, on his chair, outside of Parliament, where there's no parliamentary privilege, spoke for about an hour and a half. And the only thing I latched on to was the Jamet comment. You know why? Because that was the only thing I latched on to. You need to find something to be outraged about, or else you will have to address what he said. So to circumvent that, let me talk about the Jamet comment. Let me pretend like you're also outraged and you also value women. I am not playing this game with you all. As long as the goalpost has wheels attached to it, I'm not playing this game. Nail the goalpost down and let's have an honest, open discussion about racism and how we could stop it. Don't have a goalpost on wheels. And when it's time for me to come with the ball, the goalpost moving.
Right? The offensive word that was used, that the uproar is about, is the word coolie, because it is alleged in the that it is a purported that the person talking about coolie woman to that effect is Mr. Sabka, right? The word coolie. Word of the day, coolie. Right, so definitions, I look at India. In India, coolie traditionally refers to a railway station porter who carries luggage. Though the term is a colonial era word rooted in low-wage manual labor, today the Indian government officially calls them, what's that? Sahavaks, right, or helpers, to respect their work and improve their status. In the Caribbean, the word coolie is historically a term for South Asian indentured laborers, a modern descriptor for people of Indian descent, and a complex word with debated social meaning. In Trinidad, the word coolie historically refers to the Indo-Trinidadian people of East Indian descent, whose ancestors came as indentured laborers, but today it functions as both a heavy racial slur and a reclaimed a identity, right? The word coolie. Word for today. I saw Marvin Gonzalez would have written this. He said, the Prime Minister latest use of the racial slur to describe herself was meant to be a distraction and to change the conversation from 1. National security scandal fallout from the unauthorized leak and disclosure of intercepted communication. 2. Calls for the dismissal of the Minister of Homeland Security and the Attorney General. 3. The state of fear and panic that now grips the nation. And 4. The fallout from the Attorney General and Minister of Homeland Security handling of the Hadid matter, which led to the revocation of the PDOs and which has proven to be based on a monstrous fabrication and a wicked lie. Citizens must now allow the Prime Minister and Chair of the National Security Council must not allow the Prime Minister and Chair of the National Security Council to use distraction tactics to evade accountability. Now, I saw this book, the launch of this book, and it says here, National Council of Indian Culture, Dr. Diokinnanan Sharma Visarat Kendar, book launch. It's The Journey from Coolie to Elite. And this will be on Saturday, the 1st of August, 2026. The same day for our national holiday, African Emancipation Day. So the High Commissioner didn't get you to have, the High Commissioner India didn't get you to have his thing on April and August the 1st because of the pushback, put it to the 8th of August, but this, of course, is a private thing, I guess. So they are having their book launch, The Journey from Coolie to the Elite, and it says here, join us on exciting history, heritage, and reflection as the National Council of Indian Culture, Dr. Diokinnanan Sharma Visarasat Kendra present the launch of 2 important literary works. The Journey from Coolie to Elite by Dr. Dipat Aragwal, an indentured survivor of the British Empire, Volume 1 by Dr. Premnath Gupta, right? At Saturday, at the hospitality lounge, the NCIC Nagar, Shabona. So the word Nagar, the word coolie is used liberally. And listen to this.
And let us remember we are all children of God. We are not of a lesser class. Mention, they were ashamed. You could imagine me. This little coolie girl from down wherever. Reverend Mother tied my head. She always talks about it, how she tied our heads and sent us forth to be good people. And so we do our best on this side. We don't make promises or stand up and say things. You've never done a single thing for the children of the faith.
Because, sorry, 48.
Right, so she would have willingly called herself coolie. And listen to this also.
Hardship continued on plantations across Trinidad. They were known as bound coolies, and indeed when we were growing up and up to now, we are referred to, their generations forward, we are still referred in some places, in some parts, as coolies, bound coolies. And I feel no shame at that. We were coolies, and I said the other day, it took a little coolie girl from a place down in Safari to become the Prime Minister. So they were confined by oppressive past laws. They were jailed for breaches of labor contracts. And they were forced to...
So she seemed to not have an issue with the word coolie. So then why is social media blowing up with some people having such a problem with her being called on this tap thing, whatever, referred to as a coolie? Because she apparently embraces it. I read the meaning of it. She embraced it. I remember my mother used to tote load and she said, well, you just like them coolie and them always had things toting on top of your head. I came from the lineage of people of St. Vincent and Garifuna, and in St. Vincent they call people of that heritage, some of them Black Coolie. Now it has become a racial slur, and I guess it's because the connotation mean that you're unskilled laborer, is a helper, you know, that kind of thing. But it was never a racial slur. However, if you use the N word, it has one meaning. One meaning and one meaning. It has several meanings. One meaning and one meaning. And nobody used to call people of African descent nigger. I'm not saying that you should call people of Indian descent coolie, but I'm saying Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar has embraced that heritage. She said it in Parliament, the highest place, and she said it on Twitter in some program they're having, right? So let me continue. So having said that, and people are having a certain discussion, Senator Renuka also about it, and this is her response.
Audio tape, a popular audio was leaked online, and there were derogatory statements. Some may even say it's racist remarks were made about the Prime Minister. What are your thoughts on the kind of language that was used? Have you heard the audio?
I have heard the audio. I'm of East Indian descent, and I take no offense by what was stated in that recording, and I will tell you why. When we frequently refer to the Lebanese and Syrian community as a 1%, do we do that with the intention of, isn't that done with the intention of also being prejudiced towards that group in society and being derogatory towards them? So, and that's why I started when I said, while passports and visas can be revoked, my birth paper cannot be revoked. And citizens of this country, whether you're 1%, 2%, 100%, you're a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And you deserve to be respected. And for some reason, leaders believe because they occupy high office, it entitles you to respect. It does not. I've never believed that. So as it relates to your question, I am an East Indian Hindu, very proud woman, and a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and I take no offense. And I take no offense because what I heard in that audio was the ranting of a frustrated citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And if our leaders took offense by being called or referred to by a certain term, well, then they need to cease and desist from referring to other people by similar terms. And they need to operate in a way as if they are working for Trinidad and Tobago, not just for East Indian people or a certain ethnic group in this country. And I say that without fear of contradiction.
So that's Senator Renuka. They're always keeping it real. Always. Dr. Rowley would have written, surprise, surprise. The Prime Minister saw that bigotry were reserved only for her use. When she called me an Oreo in the service of the 1%, what did she think that was? Her birthright. For the last month, this country has seen her government in all its nakedness, being spiteful, vindictive, and incompetent in the extreme. It took an embarrassing collapse at the Privy Council to slow them down, even as they push back against the reasoning of the Court of Appeal. Now that the population has been made aware of the recklessness of this administration, which is hiding under state of emergency in order to abuse the machinery of the state as they try to settle personal and political scores against citizens, one would expect that a government so exposed and disgraced will humble itself as the people directly responsible are held to account. Instead, we have the absentee Prime Minister trying from home to continue to fool the population about waiting on foreign jurisdictions. What is the Prime Minister saying? That she and her government for one whole month have been under attack without evidence and could not lay a charge or defend their position of jailing people without charge in our country. That this fiasco is now left to some unnamed foreign jurisdiction? Is it that a foreign country will intervene to save this government from the people? Or is it that this government is feeding lies and entreaties to outsiders, inviting them to act against our citizens? If the Prime Minister and her government have evidence of criminal conduct against any citizen, then they must act They must act against such person or persons decisively within the law. Don't disgrace yourself in discharge of your duty here, and when you get exposed, you send out a tweet to talk about foreign jurisdiction. The government must now end the state of emergency, or the government must end the state of emergency now. The Prime Minister must fire the Minister of Homeland Security and the Attorney General if she harbors any hope of restoring any respect from the right-thinking citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. The statement that the U.S. government is now helping TNT in the fight against crime is downright foolishness. They have been doing so for decades. What is different now is the wholesale prostitution of our nation's sovereignty by this government in the hope of getting personal and political favor. Finally, stop wasting my taxes on lawyers who are laughing at a foolish government that is enriching them whilst misleading the taxpayers. That says Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. And I just want to bring this back to your memory. Remember in 2016, when the now Prime Minister was in opposition, she was the opposition leader, she said, if ministers of national security cannot perform, then remove them and replace them. And if your government cannot protect our citizens and their lives, then do the honorable thing and step down. So said Kamla Persad-Bissessar, opposition leader, May the 18th, 2016. Line. Excuse me. Line. Let me continue. Line. So let me just bring back to you, because everybody's crying, oh my God, racial slur, oh my God. Listen to some of the UNC at their best. Listen to their performance. Give them performance.
So these people had to burn. And that's how you have to say it, you sons of bitches. And Camille Robinson Regis, that deceitful, devious, double-tongued, hypocritical bitch, stand up there holding she belly and bawling, oh God! And all I thinking in my mind is, you bitch.
That's a minister in the Ministry of Housing. Listen to another minister, wow. They're so eloquent in their language.
Aptly describing that lazy son of a bitch who has been missing while Trinidad and Tobago is sunk in the floodwaters and people are devastated in this country. That lazy son of a bitch. Contempt. You want to see hate. You want to see malice. Look at that son of a bitch, Keith Christopher Rowley, party. So do not come with your bullshit and your hogwash to tell Trinbagonians that you are doing something for them. And it is about time in this country that we call a spade, and we are not afraid to call them out for what and who.
That is the Minister of Public Utility. But a word that Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the Honorable Prime Minister, used to describe herself as this little coolie girl, and more than one occasion embracing it. People having problems. And I read the definitions of a coolie. So let me continue with some of the nice language of the UNC.
About the 1% which owns Keith Christopher Rowley. They tried to own Mr. Madina. They couldn't do that. They didn't get away with that. They tried their luck. I'm coming, Louise. They tried to own me, but I sent them packing. They have their Oreo now, who is their guy, and Keith Christopher Rowley. And that's how the 1% friends and family of Rowley control him. Listen to this story. When I was Prime Minister...
Yeah? Listen to this.
Opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar has come under heavy criticism for comparing Housing Minister Camille Robinson Regis' name to that of a slave master.
Both the Women's League of the People's National Movement as well as the Emancipation Support Committee have condemned the statement. More in this report from Crystal Wilson.
We are all Trinbagonians and our surnames reflect our unique history as a Caribbean people. This from the Women's League of the People's National Movement in response to utterances made this week by the leader of the opposition, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who referred to the name of Housing Minister Camille Robinson-Regis as that of slave masters' origin. Since then, the PNM Women's League has condemned Mrs. Persad-Bissessar's statement, saying only the opposition leader would seek to reduce the complex African history to platform fodder. The statement added that Persad-Bissessar's comment was racial baiting and xenophobic since it mocked the survival of African ancestors of the brutality of chattel slavery. The opposition leader made the statement on Thursday at the United National Congress TNT Speaks Cottage meeting. Her comments were in response to Housing Minister Camille Robinson-Regis calling out the opposition leader for failing to act as a cabinet member on the 1997 Robert Sabga report, which detailed allegations of sexual abuse and crimes at children's homes in Trinidad and Tobago. Mrs. Robinson-Regis also challenged the opposition leader to take her accusations of an alleged pedophile ring in the PNM to the police, saying that Persad-Bissessar will do anything unholy for political power. Also condemning Mrs. Persad-Bissessar's comment was the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago. The social media post said, in an environment of racial division and sensitivities forged in the cauldron of colonial divide and rule, it is advisable that highly sensitive and cultural issues not be reduced to political jabs by persons who are seen as leaders, and more so when they are seen as leaders of ethnic groups. The ESCTT said all leaders who are supposed to represent the whole society must take due care and responsibility in their utterances. An online petition calling for Mrs. Persad-Bissessar to step down as political leader of the United National Congress also made its way around social media on Saturday. Crystal Wilson, TTT News.
Come here, come here. What's calling my name? What do you have? I have my proud Indian ancestral name. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. That's how. What you have? Come here. You have your slave master name. We marched against that because we say no to hate speech. And we are still waiting for this government, any government, to enact those type of laws against hate speech against any ethnic group. But they're talking about Coolie Girl and she calling, she said, but Oreo, when you look at the term Oreo, it had 3 and 4 meaning. Slave master name and the slave master word, slave master called we boy and girl and the N-word too. But we had them name. And the list goes on and on. I show you one of the ministers who is minister now, who he calling bitch and but those things are acceptable. But in a leaked audio something, somebody talk about some wicked coolie woman or something like he said, and the place gone. The only thing added to the coolie is the other adjective, wicked and whatever. So I wonder if somebody were to say this wicked, evil, vindictive prime minister, if it will create such a still. I'm just asking because she's calling she own self, she whole self coolie, I play it for you. She calling she whole self coolie, right? So let me see. Listen to this continuous referral to Stuart Young. I've never seen men and women so engrossed in another man or like them. Because if it's small in all your business, he not with all you, he is sleeping with all you. Where's the issue? And the rest when you see people focus on people to think parts, because them parts a function, you know, and woman calling them thing, you know. So they just look for somebody who they feel they could attach the embarrassment they feel and hurt they feel on somebody else. So them pin must be small one. The one who always talking about small pin, he pin. You know what happened? He pin must he can't even rise up. Because Beckett says small pen or choke hard, but he must have a pen that can stand to attention. Because if you always, it look like drunk, because we see you drunk already, and you just have this look like alcoholic. I know the look and thing because my father was alcoholic, my uncle was alcoholic, and no people is alcoholic. You look that way. That does affect your PE. That does affect your PE after that time, because with that could come diabetes and so much other things. So probably you're picky feeling, and you just, I don't know, I don't get it, but it's continuous. So listen to the Prime Minister, or Honorable Prime Minister in Parliament.
Thank you kindly, Madam Deputy Speaker. In keeping with Standing Order 24, Section 4, I would like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister that in your statement you made reference to the fact that there was no breach of international law in the blowing up of the vessels because of the involvement in narco trafficking. Are you prepared to share with this Honourable House and the Parliament a copy of the advice as well as the name of the attorney that gave that advice? Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the question does not arise. We were dealing with the legislative agenda. Today, sharing with you. And if you want legal advice, ask your small pin lawyer you have crossed it.
Madam
Speaker, 48
Honourable Prime Minister, oh gosh. No, you should withdraw that statement. Please.
General, they could come to you to find out the legal advice. Thank you very much.
Yes, so let us move on.
Yeah, so there was no need to drop in there. When it called, when out of Parliament, Dr. Early talk about she jammed behavior and this, and people just get offended. But they are allowed to call Stuart Young small pen. They are allowed to call Dr. Oreo. They are allowed on Facebook to call me monkey, ugly, donkey, duncy head, PNM. They are allowed to do that. Don't ever dare say the word coolie, because oh my God. The convenient outrage just come out. And the woman who they're protecting from that word coolie, calling herself coolie all over the place. I don't get it. So let me continue. So that's where we are with that. So, I know a lot of people probably just tune in for the PNM segment because I do have the PNM segment. So here what? I'm just going to let other people speak on the PNM segment. I'll just listen. So I saw this and just remember 33.3. Remember them time 33.3 and listen to how Mr. Manning sung.
Organizationally in the PNM, it was clear that the PNM was no longer attractive to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. There are those among us who have the view that the population was ungrateful. I am not of that view at all. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, there are those among us who also feel that the PNM's loss of power in 1986 was a blessing in disguise. I fail to see the disguise. I am prepared to say that it was a blessing because, in fact, now that we are coming back reorganized, revitalized, and in a much better position to discharge our responsibilities to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
33.3, and there was a fight, still a fight in the voice. You'll never believe PNM was down to only 3 members of Parliament, and it's from the East-West Corridor. Patrick Manning, God rest his soul, was the political leader. And we saw what happened. They came back. So let me play this also.
The elections have come and gone, but the analysis of the bruising defeat the People's National Movement suffered continues. Former Arima MP Penelope Beckles, who will lead the opposition business in the Senate, says the defeat signals there is need for fundamental change within the party structure.
If it is that the PNM is to see the corridors of power again, we need to look at, that whole issue of restructuring of the party, as you said, the whole issue of putting better checks and balances. If we are to attract people and motivate people to come into the party, I know from everywhere that I go that people are looking very closely to whether or not we're going to look at the whole issue of inclusion, the whole issue of the democratization of the party.
Speaking at a post-election analysis forum on Thursday, Beckles said the changing of the guard in the persons of sitting MPs in 2007 and the completion of that process in 2010, which saw party stalwarts like Ken Valley, Fitzgerald Hines and herself sidelined by the party, may have contributed in no small way to where the party has found itself. She believes one of the main lessons from the May 24 election was that you never take the electorate for granted.
You really don't take the electorate for granted, and that you listen to the population on many areas, whether it be on issues, whether it be on the selection of candidates.
Beckles says the PNM may want to look at the one-man, one-vote system which is used by the opposition UNC in the selection of a leader. She believes there is merit in the system since it gives the rank and file of the party a voice. At the same forum, Professor Selwyn Ryan argues that the result in the election for the PNM could have been much worse had it not been for Dr. Keith Rowley.
Mr. Rowley really saved the PNM from a serious, if I might curse a bit, a serious cutters. And had he not intervened, the whole, the color of the map might have been very different.
Rowley makes his bid for leadership of the party on June 27th. For CNC3, I'm Kamal Georges.
Right, so again, a leader came in after the defeat in 2010 and would have built back the PNM. So now let me move on a little. Listen to this.
Think about your career in politics, that it really isn't easy. But you really have to, I think you have to like the politics, and you have to know that it's a lot of hard work, but serving the constituents, serving Trinidad and Tobago is a special privilege. And I'm really happy to have been selected as leader of the opposition.
Thank you very much. Right, so that of course is 2025. And the Honorable Opposition Leader speaks about having been happy to be chosen. So listen, as the Opposition Leader, listen to this.
We are very pleased to present to you the incoming Opposition Leader for the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Member of Parliament for Arima, the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson. I now invite Ms. Robinson to address you.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. We just completed our exercise, our General Council meeting, where I was, first of all, I think you all would have seen a release where 6 of my colleagues would have recommended me, and there was the endorsement of the entire General Council for me to be the opposition leader. I want to take this opportunity to thank the entire General Council, to thank my colleagues, my other 12 colleagues who will also be supporting and endorsing me, and I look forward to being the first female leader of the opposition of the People's National. And the first thing would be to meet with my members of parliament as well as the senators appointed, look at a post-mortem, basically of the elections. There are 2 younger members, Christian Birchwood as well as Kareem Marcel. There's a very experienced team. I mean, with Minister Imbert, I've been in the parliament for quite a long time. So there's an experienced team, and it's a question of ensuring that we give the best support and guidance to our 2 colleagues, our 2 new colleagues, and as well as the 6 senators.
Right, so they said that she was the General Council. They spoke about the General Council and who voted for her, and also about their two young MPs. I thought it had more than two. What about Hans de Veens? What about Dominic Romain? But small thing. So on that note of 12 colleagues voting for her, press release. Our choice for leader of the opposition. The following elected PNM members of parliament, after careful and mature consideration of the outcome of the April 2025 general elections and the events that preceded that election, preceded a snap election. Let me read it from my phone because that's fuzzy wuzzy. Let me get it quick. I don't want to misquote. Line. Line. Oi, line. What the damn thing? All right. Let me see if I could read it better here. Okay. So, as I said, press release, our choice of opposition leader. The following elected members of parliament, after careful, mature consideration of the outcome of April 20, 2025 general election and the events that preceded this snap election, have decided that it is in the best interest of the People's National Movement at this time that Mr. Penelope Beckers Robinson be appointed as the leader of the opposition. This was a press release. Here are the names on this. And count with me because I know my maths a 100%. So count with me. Simon de Nobriega, de Gomartin Central. Nyan Gaspidali, St. Anne's East. Marvin Gonzalez, Aruca Lopino. Com Embert, de Gomartin Northeast. Curry Massa, Laventel West. Keith Scotland, Port of Spain South. And the end of the letter, it states, in accordance with Section 83(2) of the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, I am willing to be appointed as leader of the opposition, Penelope Beckers Robinson Arriba. And their signatures there. They're free to say it is not so. I'm just going on what was said. They said all the 12 colleagues would have appointed. But we see in 6 here. So when did the other 6 got on board? Just asking. So we move on. So this was the opposition leader part of a speech.
In this blessed twin island nation, land of the hummingbird and steel pan, opportunities for growth, development, and progress of all peoples must always be first, and most fundamental priority of those privileged to assume leadership roles, particularly in the political sphere. Before I continue, allow me to pause and first extend warm congratulations to the Honorable Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, SC, on her 2nd term in office. Madam Prime Minister, your leadership is historic, and today it carries even deeper meaning for me personally, as I stand here not only as leader of the opposition, but also as a former student once seated in your classroom. Your journey from educator to Prime Minister serves as a profound reminder that our nation remains a land of possibilities. My journey from Bodnaf village in South Trinidad and Tobago without electricity and running water to become the first female opposition leader of the People's National Movement is a story that I hope inspires.
Yeah. So that was part of the her inaugural speech as opposition leader. And listen to this. This is in Parliament.
An embarrassing misstep in Parliament has left opposition leader and MP for Arima Penelope Beckles unable to present her own motion. Her motion sought to condemn Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessa's foreign policy stance. After reading the motion's text, Beckles immediately said, prompted by MP Gonzalez, quote, "I beg to move," end quote, and sat down. A phrase that, according to standing orders, signals the end of a member's presentation. Speaker Singh recessed the sit-in for 10 minutes and concluded upon resumption that the standing orders left him no discretionary ability.
I denounce the immature and pathetic behavior of amending or attempting to amend the motion in a manner that shows one thing to me: cowardly behavior by those on the other side. Face the motion in its original form, debate it.
The government seized the opportunity. Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal expressed his consternation at the blunder.
Afraid there is no discretionary power. The use of the phrase, "I beg to move," in accordance with the standing order, signals the end of the member's presentations.
Opposition MP Marvin Gonzalez condemned what he called the government's attempts to, quote, "silence the opposition," end quote.
It is remarkable that a member with decades of experience in the House would crumble and collapse on a first private motion in the 13th Parliament.
The session highlighted procedural tensions in the newly elected parliament, where the UNC-led coalition of interest held 26 of the 41 seats following their April 28 electoral victory. The House adjourned without voting on the amended motion.
Okay. So, listen to this.
In time to come, I thought...
So you wanted to have a little more pepper on the...
Yeah, man.
A little more peppery?
Yeah. I mean, here was an opportunity. It's the opening of the Parliament. Everybody from both houses are there, plus guests, invited guests. Even Mia Motley was here.
She going up again, you know?
She was here.
No, I said she's going up.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
You know, and I just thought... I mean, I know Mrs. Beckles Robinson to be very quiet, always very charming,
let's say measured.
She's a
always
fairly measured person.
Yeah.
But I thought on Friday, I was almost...
Well, but Mrs. Beckles Robinson, I suspect it will be in her 60s.
Probably.
I think it's a fair... We could check it out.
Yeah.
At this stage, Dale, I don't know Mrs. Beckles Robinson's projections. Mm-hmm. Her verbal, meaning her presentations are going to be any different now from 5 years ago, you know. Because as you get older, more likely than not, you begin to... Your habits are... concretized?
Hard to
change.
Yeah.
So, I hear I didn't see it, but I hear where you are. Because she's always been a measured person.
I needed a little more oomph from the opposition leader who just... I mean, but maybe, as I said, I'm leaving room for improvement.
Well, maybe the opposition, maybe it should have been Faris. If you want oomph and theatre and so on, Faris is the man, you know. And young Mr. Manning, Foster Cummings.
Young Mr. Manning.
They call him Mr. Manning. They say all the things about Mr. Manning.
Because there is a young Mr. Manning who
not
is
Brian
a member
Manning.
of Parliament.
This Manning here. See, he sounds just like Manning, more than Manning, you know.
Oh, they are.
Foster, you know.
Mr.
They say they could have go with Foster, you know. Real theatre, you know.
Mr. Cummings.
Quoting Bible and
You
chapter
want
and verse,
theatre,
you know.
look out for what's going to happen, the kind of fireworks that are likely to happen between Barry Padara, the leader of government business, and the chief whip, Mr. Gonzalez.
The two Wassa men. The two utilities men, you know. Real drama, you know.
That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting.
Drama queens. There might be drama queens in the house.
Anyway, so we'll see. But again, let's see how.
Yeah, we have
for
folks. I think after Friday we're going to see and observe as we head up the road, right? And then of course, well, did the Prime Minister name the 4 other?
Yeah. And this was a conversation persons were having after people went out in defense of Palisade House.
PNM had a meeting last night. Of course, this meeting was called prior to this situation yesterday, right? PNM would have called a meeting in defense of Palisade House at Palisade House, right? I didn't go to the meeting because, well, I generally don't come into town on a Tuesday and a Thursday. But I watched the meeting for the most part last night. And I don't know if I fell asleep during the time that they actually defended Palisade House, that they actually say, well, this is how we came about Palisade House. This is how we raised funds over the years. Members would have contributed through the legislative group every month, regardless of whether you are a local government official, a senator, a member of parliament. I don't know that I heard that. I don't know that I heard that we had a raffle, a very successful BMW 3-car raffle, 3 BMWs. I was part of that because I was on a truck up and down this country during that time, advertising those cars. Those cars, the 3 cars were on 3 separate flatbed, and I was on a next big truck advertising that raffle. I don't know if they said all of that. I don't know if they spoke about all the different contributions, all the different issues over. Maybe I missed that, but all I heard was take your hands and touch. Don't touch. You touch one, you touch all. Leave your hands off body. I don't know that a case was made for how the funds were raised for the renovations to Palisade House. It was, Wendell, Zutius was saying it was said and identified, so I missed it. So my apologies. If that
Am I echoing?
You are. So it switched to you now. Let me take off my mic. Or Sir Charles will have to mute his.
Because
Yes. I'm here.
So that problem still exists, whatever it is.
All right, go ahead. I'm not hearing it again.
But Wendell, I watched some of that meeting yesterday in defense of democracy, and it was a call out in a defense of democracy, etc., etc., etc. And obviously, and remember when Marvin Gonzalez was here, I asked him a particular question, which was, if you are saying it's in defense of democracy, etc., etc., and you're taking a particular slant in terms of the voices of dissent against the way that this government may be operating, and you may disagree with it. And if you will in a disagreement, the PNM has always made it a point of going it alone, and whether in fact they would include other voices. And so it becomes more a collection of people in terms of opposition, in terms of some strong opposition to some of the MO in how this government is operating, and whether they will consider that. And he said, well, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he kind of danced through it, that, it would be something that they would consider, blah, blah, blah. And he was of a he expressed his personal opinion on it, right? Because I know the PNM has a very long established tradition of we go in it alone. We win alone, we lose alone. Basically, that's what they say. Last night, of course, they had this in defense of democracy, and it was a clarion call to all citizens across Trinidad and Tobago. Am I right?
Yes.
Right.
You are right.
But the substance of what I heard on stage from the times that I listened to at different speakers were not speaking to the wider audience of Trinidad and Tobago, who would not have been there because it was a YouTube video I was watching. It was still speaking to a very PNM-centric crowd. So nobody articulated, in my opinion, this is my opinion, nobody articulated on that platform in a clear and resonant way that spoke as if you were speaking to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and not the PNM faithful. Yeah. And so for me, it was a lost opportunity for the opposition, if that's the road that you were going on, to include people who were not PNM people, but who had real issues in terms of some of the decisions of this government. Because they kept it very PNM centric, as they have always done. But if it is that you want to be, to me, it was a missed opportunity, because if you wanted to rise above and take the high ground that, look, democracy is under threat, because that was part of the messaging that you got last night. But it was always articulated within the very closed box frame of the PNM, and coming back to your character Jabali's house, which I know is one of the talking points, right? But and I felt they missed that opportunity. That's one. And I felt all of the speakers did themselves a disservice by constantly referring to notes, either on an electronic device, like a mobile device, or actual paper. Nobody spoke off the cuff, like how, now, let me clarify
Actually,
that. There were points at which people...
Actually, Chinua did.
Yeah, but what was he talking about exactly? And what did he speak about exactly?
Well, he did the welcome, but he expounded a little bit on the politics and of course local government. You know, he will talk
and about the discrimination against PNM cities and boroughs, basically, right?
Yes.
So okay, so so let me take him out of the equation. The other people, sometimes they spoke off the cuff when they got very passionate about certain things, but a lot of times they were referring to this notes. They were not like Dr. Rowley or Patrick Manning, who have a certain oratorial skill in terms of how they can.
We don't have that again. Maybe Stuart Young, but we don't have that outside of Stuart. I don't know that we have that again.
Yeah. And finally, this.
Yeah, well, yeah, morning. So I say, let me pop in here fast. Might have to make a part 2 to this video because there's so much to unpack from the former press conference yesterday. Too much to try to say in 10 minutes. But what I want to ask this morning to the Honorable Miss Penelope Beckles, who is the real leader of the opposition? Is it Foster Cumming? Is it Marvin Gonzalez? Is it Stuart Young? Is it Dr. Keith Rowley? The reason why I had to ask that, because right now, Ms. Penelope Beckles, your leadership is coming across as very weak.
People told us who looked on tonight: David, Joycelyn, Guy Genrich, Victoria, Patricia, Shelton, everybody, Antilia, Benny Q. I see Rookman. I think I saw Rookman there. Who again? This slip. Listen, all you know me. This lip. Celeste. Thank you for being here. Pat. Who again? Gloria. Hey, Madam Gloria. I want some homemade wine, Madam Gloria. Give me. Okay. Wrong thing. Marlene. Everybody on YouTube and to all my peeps on Facebook. Thank you all for being so loyal and dedicated. And all I want you all to tell me, again, as I say, you don't have to agree with everything I say. You don't have to. We could agree respectfully. I have no problem with that. I know everybody thinking like me. But one thing I want you all to always tell me or keep me in check. Am I lying? That's all I just want to know. Am I lying? Yeah? So to Sarah, Jimmy, Kim, Rosalind, Vern, and so much other, I think I saw Charles, Chris, the whole family from Pune, Melka, Hollis, oh gosh, Andrew from out in Britain. Hey to you and your family, darling. Everybody, Jimmy, Ruthven, Hollis, I think I called her already, Zaria, everybody, I know I went over a little, Anne, Cheryl, everybody who all locked on tuning. Love you all, thank you all for the support as usual, and we will bounce up again on. So people, I love you all, much respect, everybody, negative, positive, indifferent, what? Same love. We'll come with you and poll question on Friday and all the other little stuff. Yeah? People, see you all. Love you all. Love yourself. First love is self-love. Love yourself. And remember, in all this conversation, the Honorable Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamala Prasad-Bissess, has embraced the word coolie because she keeps referring herself to that. We have not embraced the word the N-word, Oreo, those things. So those things are racial slurs to us. So people, to the African community. So people, much love, and all the persons of Indian descent who does not subscribe to the behavior and beliefs of the UNC government, of some people of Indian descent. Big up to you all. You all need to talk with someone. To Ms. Renuka, thank you, darling, for always keeping it real. Continue to be a proud Indian Hindu woman, my darling. Once you're that and walk through the space, no problem. You could stand with anybody shoulder to shoulder and stand up in defense of this country, all races together. So thank you so much. So people, see you all are gone.
I'm glad for Guinea's stranger, I'm glad for each also. I'm glad for all them detainees, I'm so glad they let them go. They capture them one morning, they tell them it's no bail. They innocently push 3 people straight in the royal jail. Oh, what a country, oh, what an opposite. How come they could be jailing people so without a hearing? Where is the freedom? Somebody put a hand. Shawty fall on this land. We criticize Rhodesia and Alabama too. I'm sure that you would never dream that this could happen to you. We pulled on South Africa. We talk every place. We spit into the skies and now it fall right back in we face. Oh, what a country. Oh, what an opposite. How come they could be jailing people so without a hearing? Where is the freedom? Somebody put a hand. Oh, come the vengeance of Bobo, surely fall on this land. Long time in the 50s, you could hear them say, this colonial ruling is a blight and must go away. But since we independent, what they do for we, introduce the IRA and the state of emergency. Oh, what a country, oh, what an opposite. How come they could be jailing people so without a hearing? Where is your freedom? Somebody put a hand. Oh, come the vengeance of Bobo, surely fall on this land. bring in this edition. They say you mustn't talk. If you only hung, they snatch you up like a chicken hawk. In the not too distant future, if you live to see, they gon' pass a bill to stop you having a family. Oh, what a country! Oh, what an awful sin! How come they would be letting people so without a hearing? Where is your freedom? No freedom. Somebody hold a hand. Oh, come the vengeance of Mokobo, surely fall on this land.
Yeah.